Hey, hi. I'm Mona, and this is Sacred Geometry Universe Video Journal Diary for March 4th, 2024. Yeah. So, oh shoot, hold on. Okay, I saw a piece of my trash floated away, and I wanted to grab it because, I'm not trying to litter around. I'm not trying to leave garbage. All right. You guys, I feel great today. I feel great. I woke up like I do every morning, kind of, well, for the past maybe month or so. Uh, I woke up feeling good. And once again, I had some stuff in my head I was thinking about. So what do? I go straight to the books, right? Because I have to look things up, online and books, right? I use every avenue to find whatever it is I need to lead me to the answers I need, right? So yesterday I watched a sermon from a young man. He had to be in his 20s, very young. And it was nice what he said, and he did a good job out there. But in the beginning, he said something about astrologers and all that stuff, right? He said something about that, and then he switched over to something else. And then he said something that was like, oh, ooh. It basically, it was like a confirmation. It was a confirmation to the prayer that he said for me in his presence. Yeah. And I thank you for that. I thank you for that. I didn't like the music of the sermon. It sounded, my ears. I turned that down until they walked away, and it didn't sound very beautiful to me. So I was like, well, they're trying. It's okay. I didn't want to listen to it. So I turned it down. And then when I kind of saw that people were, you know, moving away, and then lo and behold, yeah, it was the guy who prayed for me earlier. I was shocked. I was like, oh, I didn't know he was a pastor, because he was very young. And I guess he's not the actual pastor. He's part of, like, I forgot the word he used, but he's part of the crew, the pastoral crew, right? To the pastor, you know. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I exchanged my phone number with him. And, and then this morning, that's what led me to all this stuff, because I was thinking, wow, he brought that up. Is that something? No, it's not. It wasn't. I gave him my phone number. You can look up people with their phone numbers. Yeah, you can see their social medias. You know what? I don't really I haven't used anybody's phone number to look them up. And I don't do that because I don't need to. I don't need to dig into someone's personal life to try to trigger them to think a certain way. Yeah. Because when I was watching the sermon and he brought that up, I basically said it out loud, into the sky. Oh, you're bringing this up because you looked me up. You looked me up. You had to find a little bit of something so you could make me believe something of what you're saying. I never looked you up because I already knew how you were. I could tell by your dress. He was dressed in the finest. His clothing is beautiful. This suit, shiny. Because when he came up, he started talking to me. Like I said, I didn't know who he was, I just thought he was somebody there who has the run of the place because, he is part of that church. God's kingdom cannot be bought or sold. I told you that. And I said that because of the clothing you were wearing. I hope that you are not getting paid because of your services through that church. Because all your services should be free. You should not be making money off the people in that church. Yes. It kind of reminds me of that Joel Osteen, that other guy. Kind of reminded me of that. And in that sermon, he said, as the confirmation to what I was feeling, let me get the book. I wrote it down. Okay, I wrote it down because, I've been writing things down to confirm for myself. I think he was talking about Daniel 2 or something, but what rang in my ears that he said, be Jesus to the people, right? If I am to be Jesus to the people, that means that you want me to be kind and forgiving and righteous and do all the best I can, under the rules of God, right? Yeah. That was my confirmation, basically. Don't get me wrong. You did not give the book to the wrong person. No, I will cherish that book. This is for in case he comes by and see it. But I'm just saying, don't feel like it was a mistake because it was not. It was a blessing. And young man, if you have not studied any other religions and compared, you will never know. Yes. Because I think that it was fear that was forced into you to believe a certain way. And if you want to find the truth, you got to read it all. You're very young. I don't think that you've even stepped outside of that book. You will never know. You will never know. I'm sorry. Not unless you step outside the specific religion that you have been baptized by and look to see what others are saying. We can all agree there was one God, right? Yes. Because that's what Jesus said. There's one God. Pray to God. Pray, And when Jesus said to John, I am the bread or the life or whatever, yeah. He would, I think, because yes, there's a lot of interpretation and there's a lot of contradictions in there. A lot of those red words you see in there are accounts of other stories. They didn't come from Jesus's mouth directly to the person who wrote it. These are accounts. And I do notice that in the book you gave me, the Baptist book, there's a bunch missing from the book of John. Why? Why is that? Why can't I find those red words? Why? That's something you need to think about. Another thing that got me real excited was I'm not the only one that thinks like this. maybe I don't know, because I still like Jesus, because I like that Jesus is like, there's one God, pray to him and do all this and do all that. That's nice. So I'm believing that Jesus wants you to pray, to God. Why? Because we are all God's children. Why wouldn't God's child be able to pray to him directly? Yeah, think about that. Why not? And when I was thinking about that, it reminded me of a time when I was in Long Beach in California. I had an argument with God because I must have read something or heard something somewhere. And I had an argument with God. I did. I didn't get like answers like, "Oh," but I was mad. Because if you're mad, I've seen other places where they say, if you want to talk to God, talk to him, yeah, do it. And I was mad. And I said, why can't I talk to you? Why aren't I allowed to talk to you directly? I was pissed. Like, I was like, why do I have to talk to Jesus to talk to you? I fought with him about that in my car, homeless, at night, to myself in some little nook place I found that I would be able to sleep in the night. I had that argument. People have things so confused and so mixed up. I almost feel like they're not correctly reading or understanding what Jesus was saying. Yeah, he is the bread, the life, and all that stuff. He was saying that because he was speaking his truth at that time. Believe in God, pray to God, do this for God, blah, 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 right? That's what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about eat my flesh and drink my blood. No, it was like a hypothetical or not hypothetical. That's the wrong word. What word am I looking for? I can't think of the word. But he was basically saying you can do these things too, right? But people, I don't know. And then I read further and it said something about how, John did meet the Messiah. He didn't know who he was, but he felt some sort of way, right? He felt lower because Jesus knew the truth, right? So he didn't feel worthy to like baptize or whatever, but then somehow or another, I guess Jesus is like, if you see this and that, you can do. So if anybody can baptize, it is because you have seen that that person is worthy to be baptized to go to the kingdom of God. Mm-hmm. Because everybody was wanting to be baptized by Jesus, but Jesus is like, no, you can do it too. If you see that they are doing the right thing, that they want to do this and they want to, whatever they do, you can do it too. Because we are all God's children, plain and simple. Yeah, and that's the way I think. You know what I mean? I think that Jesus was out there preaching this gospel, trying to tell everybody that God is within all of us. All of us. That we can pray directly to God. Because I swear to you guys, I put this on everything. I have been praying to God up until today. Straight to God. And my life went from shambles, almost death, until I am alive. Yeah. Yeah. And you know that young man, I know you looked me up and I know that you tried to use whatever you saw to convince me with your sermon. And you probably looked my background and my things. It's okay. You can. Anyone can. I'm okay with that. I had a wretched past, yes, dealing with wretched people. But look where I am now. I'm happy. I'm being kind. I'm being forgiving. I'm praying for those who have wronged me. I pray for everybody. But I'm not wearing a fancy outfit. Did Jesus wear a fancy outfit? No. Why should I? I don't need that. I don't need to look a certain way because my ego and my pride are standing in front of me. No, I let all that go a long time ago. I don't have fancy clothes. I don't have fancy things, even though I can. I'm not just hanging on out here. I'm being smart is what I'm doing, right? I have been blessed. This is why I can live like this. And this is why I can speak to people and try to give them motivation and stuff, because God blessed me. How are you getting your paycheck? I hope you have a real job aside from that church that's paying you well, allowing you to wear those clothes. Yeah, I hope so. And if you are, when are you finding the time to study all the other religions to compare to your own? When? Because you don't know. Because you have put fear, or somebody has put fear in you that you must follow that, or you will not go to the kingdom of heaven. No. Standing next to you, I felt like, oh, like, should I be dressed up? He's like, no, that doesn't matter. Because Jesus didn't dress up to go talk to the people. I don't buy fancy things, and I don't try to portray myself as some wonderfully rich, holy person. No. Sure, I do buy some things, but they're because I need them and I know they will last long and I will not have to spend money on things for a long time. My shoes. Shoes are important. I'm walking dogs, we're hiking, we're doing these things. I need good shoes. So yes, I will pay a little bit of money for some strong, sturdy shoes. My clothes, cheapy stuff, Goodwill stuff. Because I don't need to blow myself up to look a certain way. I hope you find the truth. Because there's a lot of misinterpretation, and you will never find out the truth until you study yourself. I don't know if this person's going to see this video, but maybe. You already found my social medias and you already kind of looked into what's going on with me. I will not change my thoughts. And to be honest with anyone else who's watching this, I don't think there's a religion, a name of a religion for what I believe. But I know a lot of people believe the same thing I do, that God is within, that all of us are God's children, and we can speak directly to God. We don't need that extra telephone line, no. Because you know what happens when you play telephone? Things get misinterpreted. It's common for that game. So this is something to think about. My life is good. I'm happy. And I don't need to take anyone's money. I don't take any money for anything I do. The tarot, this, no. I don't take money for anything. Because I don't have to, because God has blessed me. So that's basically all I got. And I'm very happy. I'm not going to stop studying, though. I think it's interesting and fun, and I do believe that God will bring us little things in our life, synchronicities, to help us to get through whatever. It's like a feel-good book, I believe. I've always believed that the Bible is a feel-good book. When you're not feeling good, let's go to the Bible. What does it say about that? And you feel good after you read something. You know? Oops, sorry. But that's all I have, you guys. I'm not trying to hate or be mean to anyone. We all have freedom of religion, even if there's no name for the religion that I believe in. It's okay. It's okay. Because I know I'm doing good. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not hurting myself. I'm trying to spread good news and good word to people. That's what I'm doing. And those that I can't convince or can't, I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to force them to believe whatever I believe. And I just saw the number 2121. And in my world, that is the number of the ascended masters. Yes, Jesus. Thank you for that message. Right? I have God to thank for bringing me that message. Because we're talking about Jesus, right? There's a synchronicity there. Maybe one day people will understand and they will take the time out to study, but because of the way things are going right now with the economy and prices going up and people can't afford stuff, it's so sad. People have to work so much, they don't even have time to study, except for what they hear on Sundays if they go to church, and they are being misled. They're not being told the truth. This is not Jesus' truth. I believe that Jesus was trying to tell us we are God's children. Everybody's got a little bit of God in them, and they can speak directly. Because that's how I've been doing it. And if me speaking to God directly has brought me out of the terrible depths of the bottomless pit to now, I think a lot can be said for that, because it seems like it happened fairly quickly. So maybe if you are praying to Jesus, you're not seeing your manifestations because you're not praying the right way. You can speak directly to God. You can. And this is what I believe Jesus was trying to say. But people want to interpret. It's okay. I'm not trying to be against anyone. I'm just telling my ideology on this stuff. And that, wow, it did work for me. So why doubt it? Why should I doubt something that has been so blessed in my life? Right? No. And if you believe that what I'm doing is devil's work, and I'm out here trying to help others the best I can and being forgiving and teaching them about, forgiveness, somebody's thinking something wrong here. I don't get it. So, all right, you guys, that's all I have. I don't know how to convince. I don't know how to. The only thing I can say is you got to study more. You're very young. You're very passionate, but you're never going to find the truth unless you study other stuff. But it's okay. You're young. You have plenty of time. And I pray to God that you find the right way, that you understand what I'm saying. I pray to God that you will find your way. That's all I have. I'm Mona. This is a Sacred Geometry Universe video journal diary for March 4th, 2024. And I'll talk to you guys next time.